All right, so a little under the weather, so I'm going to be pretty crackly right now. But it's been an interesting last 7 days, and yeah, it's 3 a.m. right now. But Taylor's Taylor's on like a girls' night, so she's away. And when Taylor's away, I do crypto. Period. So I want to start with. Oh, what was that? Jeez. Hold on. Gotta take a screenshot. I'm gonna do something I've been doing all night. Save. Go to my chat with Aaron. Where? Aaron right here. And then laugh out loud. Send. Yeah, that's awesome. That's so awesome. But I kind of want to talk through what I think is about to happen. Honestly, where are we at? So here we go. So check this out. We are in a moment where we will never have this opportunity again. There will never be a moment to where the altcoins have essentially bottomed out completely and hit new all-time lows for a lot of them, to where Bitcoin just ripped up and almost touched 100K and has now been steadily kind of just chilling, stable there, right around and ranging 97.8 to then 99.2, and it's just been ranging back and forth. And as it's kind of stabilized and stayed there, the altcoins have all started ripping. And so we have a beautiful moment in time, and I say this will never happen again, ever, because the game will change after this, and we can't anticipate that this will ever be available to us again in this kind of capacity, because the market, the more the money flows into the market and the more it sustains after, cycle after cycle, the more and more stability comes into it, and you can't anticipate such volatility anymore. But right now we can. And so I want to kind of break down my trading strategy versus my trading strategy right now versus an investment strategy that I would be switching to after. And to kind of set the stage for that, I think it is super important to point out to everybody that this has happened before, and that literally point for point things are playing out as they have done in every single cycle, every single time. And so what I have pulled up right now is the last bull run cycle. And right here on the screen, this point right here is essentially when we finally broke out of that descending, broadening wedge. Rather, like in March of this year, Bitcoin went on a rip, and then it made it to an all-time high of 72K, and that was absolutely bonkers, right? And then it kind of just died in range, and kept popping up, popping down, and stayed inside of this descending, broadening wedge for like literally 6 to 7 months. And like all of the altcoins, to a lot of people's surprise, didn't pump or go crazy at that point. Like the last time Bitcoin was around 60 to 70K was the previous cycle, and the altcoins were blowing up. But this time, nothing happened. And I think that probably threw a lot of people for a loop. But it has worked in our favor, because all of the altcoins that had been up high, they slowly died for 6 months, and they just legitimately, all of them, bottomed out. They hit all-time lows, and in a lot of cases, they made completely new, fresh, all-time lows. And they have been at a low, ridiculously discount price right now. As we hit this moment, Bitcoin finally broke up and out of that descending, broadening wedge, settled on top of it, like it did right here, and then it shot up, and then it shot up, and then it shot up. And like, that is a signal to the entire market, the entire community of people, retail and institutional, that we are starting the bull run proper. And one thing I do also want to point out to everybody is that whenever anything first stands up from being dead and like at an all-time low, it does something crazy, like the altcoins are all doing something crazy right now. But at some point, whenever there's the first sense that Bitcoin might correct, that Bitcoin might go down, that Bitcoin might be needing to cool off and die off for a little bit, the second that that sense is there and that there's like a sudden quick sell-off of Bitcoin, the market panics. And what's really interesting is this is now my third crypto cycle, right? And I have made it a very purposeful intent to monitor and to research and to test and to find the perfect kind of tools and the perfect kind of patterns that allow me to take in as much information as possible and make quick, rapid, very efficient, informed decisions. And when I look at all of the holidays over the many years and the many cycles, and I look at all of like the Fed FOMC meeting minutes, and I look at just the stock market, just the entire narrative of everything, how that plays out, I know for sure when things first stand up and they go on a little run, there's a steep and heavy correction. And there are certain catalysts that are involved with that kind of catalyst. And so Bitcoin, as anybody that's been in crypto for this, the last 10 years, we have been saying it for forever. Oh my God, Bitcoin's gonna go to 100K. Oh my God, Bitcoin's gonna go to 100 million. All of these statements are true. It's just a matter of a timeline for when that happens. But we are actually at that moment to where Bitcoin is about to touch 100K for the first time. And there's something about nice, neat, even numbers, especially numbers like 100, and especially things like Bitcoin, in a situation where people have been thinking it and dreaming of it for almost a decade. It is a psychological human reaction to sell the shit out of your Bitcoin when you hit 100K. And if you don't do it, everybody else is going to do it. And it's a very, very ridiculously quick, like flash crash kind of thing. And I say crash loosely because like Bitcoin just months ago was at like 40 to 45 to 50. People were saying it's going to go down to 10 to 20 again. And then just a few months later, we are almost at 100K, and it's just outrageous. But here's the interesting thing. When you break down the dates, and I went back and I looked at my calendar for 2020 and I looked at my calendar for 2024, and I took a little matchup of each, and I was looking at when did this crash, this little flash crash, which then got eaten up very quickly and popped back up. When did this actually happen? And what happened right here is right here where you see the little touch. That's essentially Monday that is coming up right now. This is essentially Tuesday, and then this little peak where I have the dot is Wednesday. That's next week. And when you look at what happened when it just bled down and it went, I believe it was, that was an 18% correction for Bitcoin. Bitcoin had literally just almost doubled its value at that point. It was like 117% up in that moment, which we're on par with that kind of gain. That's a ridiculous amount of money. And for Bitcoin to correct 18%, that's nothing. That's nothing in the grand scheme or in the bigger picture of, this is impending right after that happens. So like an 18% correction is a healthy correction. And really it's institutional money doing a liquidity grab one last time, loading up before the new year, which this right here, where it then bounced around, and then right here where it shot up again, that's basically like December 28th, January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and it blows up. We are on target, point for point, week for week, moment for moment, with a end of December, early January, Bitcoin exploding up and likely going and marching on its way to 134 to 150K from January to basically the end of March, beginning of April. And if Bitcoin's going to do that, then the altcoin market, in this concept of money flow, all the money goes into Bitcoin first. That goes on a rip. And then when people are like, oh, I'm high up enough, I'm going to start taking profits, they take money out of Bitcoin, and then they go down the ladder. And they go to the next biggest thing, Ethereum. And then they go to the next biggest thing, the large caps. The next biggest thing, the medium caps. Then the small caps. Then the micro caps. And that money flows in that direction every single time. But what's really, really, really interesting about this is this crash played out in a period of 3 days. And then it took about a week for it to basically return back to the same freaking level. And then it played out over the month of December, up to like December 16th is where like that drop was, which was nowhere as bad as the drop down here. But that dropped one last time right before Christmas. Then right after Christmas, things blew up right into the new year. I'm anticipating that to happen exactly for us. And there are so many little catalysts and scheduled events that would line up for why that would happen. But another interesting thing about this is like when Bitcoin was going on that rip and got to that point, and then it crashed, that little flash crash of Bitcoin, 10 to 18%, the altcoins, which are much more susceptible, and they're much more driven and fueled by retail investors, and it's going to be even crazier this go around because retail investors have so many futures, options, leverage trading tools at their disposal, and there is so much institutional whale money in the market that we are going to experience a very, very drastic, far into the spectrum kind of swing. And in that same moment of time, in that same time frame, 3 to 4 days to crash that quickly, and then 1 to 2 to 3 days to bounce right back up, and then to kind of range in that area, altcoins did that same 30 to 50% crash. And so I said it earlier in our Crypto Rose chat. I was like, I am planning on selling 70% of my crypto holdings, which is basically what I have in my futures options account, on Tuesday morning to afternoon. I'm not going to be holding nearly as much leveraged tokens and money and positions past Tuesday morning, because I know by Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening, there's going to be that first initial, oh shit, Bitcoin just touched 100K and then it dipped for, 2 or 3,000 and then it bounced around and ranged. I think we're good. We're going to continue going up. And then Wednesday is going to happen. And Wednesday morning, probably in the hour or so before the cycle starts, 5 or 6 or 7 a.m., Bitcoin is going to bleed heavy and go down a little bit further, another 2 to 3,000. And people are going to freak out, but then it's going to bounce and steady. And they're going to be like, oh yeah, we're good. We're good. And in the same time frame, altcoins are going to be doing a similar kind of massive impulse up. Because if Bitcoin hits 100K and people are still being like, oh, the market's bullish, Bitcoin's going to go to 150 to then 200 to then a million right now, we're still good, they're going to be FOMOing in hard and buying heavy into the altcoins. They're going to be buying heavy on XRP if it keeps going on a skyrocket. XLM, ADA, Algo, every cryptocurrency that's out there that's an altcoin that is running, that in that same time frame right now until then is going to be going up 100% to 200% to even 300%, depending on the hype and what's going on. And as Bitcoin is approaching and hitting that 100K, like millennial investors like myself down to Gen Z are going to be going super hard, high leverage long on all their favorite altcoins. Because they'll be like, oh man, I don't want to miss out. I'm going to be making so much money. I already made so much money. I'm going to do 20x on XRP. It's about to go to $3.50. And there's probably going to be tons of like bull trap kind of pump fake kind of things. There's going to be every single altcoin that's been on a rip. Cardano, XRP, XLM, Polkadot, Algo, Atom, all the OGs from the previous thing, and then all the new age kind of mid cap and large cap. They're all going to do some kind of big impulse up one more time, right around that Bitcoin to 100K, and then a little bit pull back to like maybe 98K, and then range and bounce. And like people are going to be thinking, oh, we're safe. We've been safe for the past week or so. Bitcoin almost hit 100K last week or the week before, and then it didn't fall down. I'm safe to go 10 times long on XRP right now. My liquidation point is like 20 cents below where I'm at. I'm safe. And they're not really realizing, and people are really not realizing that their intent is going to make you do that. They know what your liquidation and leverage is, and they are going to drive the market down far enough to hit either your stop loss or your liquidation price, close your position, and cause a cascading closure of liquidations all the way down. And that's how you get something like a 50% correction on altcoins, maybe even 60%. I'd say like things that are super duper high up right now, I would be looking at after I closed the majority of my positions. I'm going to be watching for things that are too hot, that are too overextended, that are like way too hyped, that have been doing nothing for a long time and then out of nowhere went to the moon and have people buying in like heavy. I'm going to find those things. And yeah, sure, I might dabble in some shorts. But what I'm really going to do is I'm going to find on Monday and Tuesday, I'll be doing my research. What are the prices that these things are at? And what is the likely like little impulse, the last little impulse that these things are going to go to? And then I'm going to be calculating what is the 30 to 50 to even 65% below that price correction point. And I'm going to put in a ton of limit trigger buy orders on all of these things. I'm not going to hit even half of them probably because my price is going to be so low. But for the half that do hit, I stand to make a substantial amount of money. And so if I think that that's at play, the position that we're in right now is people think that Bitcoin is safe and the market is safe. And if they think that, then everybody, we have officially kicked off the bull run. We have officially kicked off the beginning of the altcoin season. And all of the altcoins are blowing up. And so in this one moment in time, I feel comfortable. This is the most comfortable I've ever felt because I know how these events play out. I feel comfortable enough to enter into a ridiculous amount of leveraged positions. And normally, when I get into any kind of leverage position and it gets to like, Friday before the end of the day and I'm like going into the weekend and I'm like, oh man, I'm up, $10,000 on Casper. I don't want to have to monitor this over the weekend. Plus anything can happen over the weekend and it's probably going to crash. I'm just going to pull my stuff out and close my positions and take profits. Like I'm happy. I'm 154% up on this position. I'll hold it and I'll wait. A normal Ty from like the last cycle would have had that very pragmatic, risk-adverse kind of position, and I would have closed and or reduced all of these positions. Anytime I see something go up $1,000 for me, like the old Ty from the previous cycle would have been like, yep, I'm going to sell. I'm going to take that $1,000 and pocket it. Done. We're cool. And I'm just going to keep doing that on repeat, which was a pretty effective thing for me to do last go around. But I have observed and I have tested and I have deconstructed and reflected on everything that I've ever done in all of crypto. And I always try to think, what could I have done better? How could I have made that a more optimal, higher reward to risk kind of ratio kind of moment? And I always pay attention to all of these things. And what's interesting is right now, I know that this is probably the safest I will ever be with leverage trading. And so the intent of what I'm doing right now is I'm okay with entering into leverage trades, especially leverage trades with such high leverage. Like, I would call you crazy if you were into a position like this with a 10x leverage. But I very specifically have been studying every single chart, and I have found the perfect price points to then buy in. And then I've been very realistic with what I think is going to happen. and like DCA and buy in further if it goes lower. If it goes even lower than a certain point of what I've done, then that would invalidate a certain idea, and then I'd be like, all right, close it. I'm down. I'm out. But I timed this pretty perfectly to the point that I can now set my stop losses or configure my things in a way to where if the market did go down and correct, like say it corrected right now, I wouldn't lose any of my original investment and I would not be at risk of liquidating all of my money as normal people would who are into this kind of leverage, because my stop loss closure prices are very close and or at my entry price. And so as an example, Casper, 2.55 million Casper tokens at an 8x leverage with $5,330 put in. So my $5,330 put in times 8, it's like 42 something $1,000 worth of Casper. If it were to go down to the price 001452 on that, I would get liquidated, as in the platform and exchange would forcibly close my long position and they would do a market order sell of all 2.5 million Casper tokens at that trigger price, because they need to make their money back because I was irresponsible and made a dumbass decision to get into some leverage like that. But because I got in at a good price, I can set my stop loss at something like 0.141, which if the price goes down to 1.41 cents, this is configured to automatically close the position and take $252 worth of profit and my original investment back. I don't need to do that right now because I know that we are going to have a bullish weekend and we're going to have a bullish Monday, and that's going to last into a bullish morning of Tuesday, to where I can then decide it is time for me to then pull out of these things and close the majority of these positions. And so what I'm going to do right now is, oh my gosh. Yeah, when did that happen? Totally didn't see that. That's awesome. Wow. Where am I at? Is this higher than my last screenshot that I sent to Aaron? Yes, it is. Next. Here we go. Yeah. Laugh out loud. I can't wait for him to wake up in the morning and be like, dude, this has been going on all night. Like, look, it started right here. 103, 104, 105. And this is just a matter of like 5 hours ago. And this has been happening on repeat. This is a moment in time to where the series of events are predictable because they've been mapped out time and time again before. And so I feel comfortable. This is probably the most comfortable I've ever been with this much leverage. And another really interesting thing here is my starting point was November 16th, 7 days ago, right? And the balance in this account was $22,000. And I have systematically made perfect fucking trades, one after another, after another, after another. I had XRP. I put a 20 times leverage long order on XRP at the perfect level of support, because I'm like, yeah, Bitcoin just did some crazy shit and it's stable. XRP is right here. It's definitely going to go up. I feel fine with doing 20 times leverage. So I put $1,400 in on XRP at that level times 20. And I got like 26,000 XRP at $1.10. And then I sold it at $1.42 or something like that. And I made like $9,000 in profit off of $1,400 in. Did I want to sell all of that XRP? No. Did I believe that XRP still had gas in the tank? Absolutely. But it was a calculated decision because I'm like, this isn't really XRP tokens. This is a futures position. I'm going to just take this money, and while I can make $10,000 on XRP right here, I can then go find other coins that have perpetual contracts and futures that have not popped off yet. And I will systematically go down the line and analyze all these things on my 200 freaking coins watch list, and I will diversify what I have, and I will pick the most optimal things to buy into at the most optimal prices. And so I'm actually going to just cancel all of my stop losses, and we are going to go through and basically set this. And so what's interesting here is I'm going to assume that there's the possibility that there is a 10% correction, if not a little bit more, which would be part of the course for the altcoins that are running right now, pullback before they bounce. But I'm going to do this to where my VRA, I'll just start with the VRA one, isolated margin, isolated futures margin, as in this does not take collateral from anything else. It only takes the money that I put into it, $946, and it does the times 10 leverage, and it calculates for me my liquidation price would be $28.97. But I see that the price here has gone up to $42.83, and I bought in at 0031. So I'm going to increase the leverage of this. Let's see what the liquidation point would be. Oh, let me remove 29.88. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the leverage and take money out of that margin to where the liquidation price is going to be right above my entry price. So that if the price were to dip and pull back and hit the liquidation price, it is going to close the position, but I'm going to do it, the liquidation price, at a level that is right above, oh, whoops. Oh, wow. Right above my entry price. And what's great about this is like, yeah, I've got $663 of my money that I put into it, but because it is appreciated in value, I'm worth $2,821 more. So I'm basically using the profits as the money for the leverage. And that's why this is so beautiful. I'm just going to go up to 14 and then give myself the ability to take out. Oh, wow. Liquidation price. Jeez. Yeah. Wow. Come on. The likelihood of VRA dropping to 3 from here, from now until Tuesday afternoon, is so incredibly low that I'm cool with letting this sit. And I might even, like, I don't really care about losing $497 right there if it were to go down that low. So I'm good with VRA in that isolated margin being like that. Now we have, oh man, this is monstrous. What is this up to? 133. All right. I'll send Aaron a screenshot when it gets to another number. Now this, I'm going to reduce. Yeah, I still got money up there. Cool. So now the liquidation price of that position would be, VRA would have to go to 0016, which is below the all-time low, which we are not going anywhere near the all-time low because the market is 100% now bullish. And I think, oh yeah, all right, I'm sorry. So that's actually doing the shared, I'll put it back at 3. Yeah, that's fine. Radiant. Okay, here's another thing. When I said diversify my holdings, when Bitcoin went up, cool. Then Ethereum went up, cool. And then we started seeing XLM, Algo, XRP, Atom, ADA, DOT, like all of the large cap coins start blowing up. And I knew that in that sector or class of coins, the money was flowing into that. And if the money was flowing into that, that meant that all of these lower cap or shit coins or meme coins or whatever that had been super hot that had just died, that meant that they were going to be not going to really touched for a period of time, and no one was going to be looking at those at all. So while the entire rest of the market was blowing up, these were still going down. And I bought, I bought right there. Yeah. I like the way this looked because I'm like, oh yeah, this thing's been beaten up so bad, and people were selling the crap out of it. I don't even know what the news was. I just know from a technical aspect and the context of the situation that, like, if the entire altcoin market and crypto is blowing up right now, that this thing is gonna go up. And this right here was the dead giveaway that, yeah, that was the bottom. Crypto's going up. And when money flows out of the large to the mid to the small, they're gonna go back around and start pumping into this. And it's gonna catch people off guard when it does. So I was like, cool, I'll just throw some money in that. And let's see, isolated margin 8x, it's at 6537. I'm not really high up enough on it to where I would be able to, or to where I would want to. Let's see, 588, let's see, 59, 56, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 5. Cool. So, I mean, this has a chance of being liquidated, right? Because if the price does go down to 615, which is basically a 5% down from here, totally possible. But you know what? Honestly, I don't really care at all. 5, 9, 8. Cool. And 5, 9. Entirely possible that it does do that. Versus, 5, 7, 8 would be cool. You know what? Not a good example. What about XU, SD? Similar scenario. I tossed some money in it. This was the one that actually I shorted the other day, and I made, I think, $4,500 on shorting. This one, gosh, this one was so interesting. Like, just came out, skyrocketed up, died, and then now it's at the bottom. And I was like, I like the way that looks. And when the money flows into these things at the bottom, this is one that I think is going to just bounce back up and do something crazy like that, which I'm really only risking $1,021 to be in this position. And yeah, if it goes down 10% from here, it'll liquidate and take all that money. But I'm cool with that. I'm cool with risking $1,000 for the opportunity to have a very high chance of making $10,000. So I'll let that ride. But that's why I put it in the isolated margin. And I know, again, that if altcoins have been bottomed out and then people are now seeing XLM go up 300%, Cardano go up 300%, XRP go up almost 200%, like, people are going to perceive this as, this is a safe thing to buy. It's not going down any further. I'm going to buy this after I take my money out of Polkadot, and then I'll go buy this. Like, that's the general gist of, like, how it goes. VRA is done. Yeah. Rocket Pool. Same premise. I was like, yep, Rocket Pool. People have forgotten about it. It is... Oh, probably not a good view right there. But if we were to look, VRA, oh wow, VRA is going nuts. Love it. Casper's going nuts. Love it. Chia is about to go nuts. Love it. Yeah, all of these up here are the ones that I have. Where we at? Rocket Pool, Rocket Pool, Rocket Pool. Yeah. Look at this. Let's just take a look. This is perfect. Let me go do a 1 day. And like this was my reasoning, right? If this coin was here, everything else has broken out and gone bonkers, right? Except for ones like this, ones that I bought. And when you zoom out and you see how far it has fallen down and where it's really come from, 5 days maybe. Man, I shouldn't have put all those lines on it, huh? Rocket Pool was at $65 and now it's down to 10. And I think that's the bottom. The alien coin, the perpetuals, the live peer, UMA, VIDT, all of these things were kind of like the forgotten mid to low cap to not micro, but like mid to low cap that hadn't really popped off yet. I scooped all of those up after I saw Cardano do its next leg up and XLM do its next leg up and Algo do its next leg up. I was like, oh yeah, this is the altcoin season. And Bitcoin is stable right here. I'm going to start buying these things. Siacoin, Dodo, jeez, Radiant, my lord. And you can look at like just how beaten up this thing was. It used to be at 65 cents. Now it's at 0.065. Yeah, I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy that because it's got a very high degree chance of doing another crazy impulse up, like right here, but where it's at now. And this went from 0.4 to 0.7. Outrageous. Was that like a 75% increase in like basically a day? I'm expecting something like that, if not more, over here. So let us take a look. Rocket Pool is at 10.92. Realistically, a 10% drop if they were to, spike it down. 9. Yeah, basically where my entry price was. I don't think that they go down to my entry price, but they could. I bought right here around 9.90 because I was like, yep, that's the perfect support spot. And if that's going to launch, it's going to launch from there. And it's probably going to launch because everything else is launching. So I'm cool with putting just a little bit of money in it. Like, look at this. 8 to 12, 12, down to 9. And this was perfect. I was like, I'm cool with this. Very cool with this. Let's start this. So, $10 would be a pretty safe thing. Stop loss. 10.05. So if it goes down, yeah, I lose my potential profit, but I don't lose my original investment. And that's the important thing, right? And actually, I need to clear this because I'm going to do it the other way. Rabbit hole. I'm going to change my this. And then I'm going to remove remove it all. Wow. Yeah, I like the idea of this. Cool. Oh wow. This is beautiful because it's using the profits, the potential profits of the value of the coins that I have right now as the money for the position. So I can jack this up even more. Liquidation price would be 961. Wow. Okay, and I'm taking that money out of that, and it's going back into my shared. Cool. Radiant. AQ. ACT. Yeah. So that's not high up enough for me to justify doing that. VRA isolated 16. I can go higher. Oh, no, I can't. That's so funny. Perpetual. That's too close. Too close. 6. Let's go. So 880 would be 720. Okay. Yeah, I'm super cool with that. Let's take that money out. 714, 709, 701. Yeah. I'm cool with risking $1,000 for the chance that this goes crazy even further. And the chances of it going down more than 10% from where it's at now, when the market is super bullish and everybody thinks alt season is here, which it is, it's starting, but people forget that at the beginning of altcoin season, it starts hard and then it dies hard and then it goes hard again. So I will take advantage of that. Scicoin 6.4. Okay. I can increase the leverage a little bit. And then I can remove just enough of the margin to get closer to yeah. I'm gonna remove it all. So the chances of it going down, that's, yeah, I can take more. And this is the first time I'm doing it like this. I'm still getting used to Blowfin. So I'm cool with that. Yeah. Yeah. Scicoin would have to go down more than like 10, 15% for that to actually liquidate me. And like, that's not going to happen. So I can take this money out. Yep. I'm cool with it. I'm risking $900, kind of, but not really. Ooh, TLM, that's the alien one. It's gaming coin. Nobody was looking at TLM. It was dead and dying and had been dead, and nobody was doing anything with it at all. So 10% down would be right around 11. Yeah, I guess I can. Do I have any in here? No. I can put this. And let's take this out. Again, I'm cool with risking $1,000, especially if I just made in profits, realized gains, like $20,000. Like, I'll take all of these lottery tickets. X, 3, Be 11 or 12, 11, 8. This one's close enough to where I don't want to mess with it too much. You know, but I will. And like changing the leverage level does nothing because I still have the money in there. I have to take the money out to then affect. Yeah. Again, I'm cool with risking $1,000 for the chance to make way more. OGN. Yes. This one excites me. I am excited. Ooh. Oh, the position's too big. There we go. So, one would be right above actually where I bought it at. So, and you know what? Let's see. Target price 0.09. 0.95. Oh, that's the liquidation price. Go figure. 98. 975. Yeah. So I'm risking a $840 loss plus whatever the profit would be. It would have to fall down like right around there. I don't think it's gonna fall down to there. It could easily come back down to this or even this. But again, I feel like I'm in a safe position because everybody is bullish on the market. And this does no justice to it because they only keep like the last 90 days of like history. But like OGN was, oh, that's a rocket pool. OGN, there we go. Yeah. That could come down to it. But if that happens, let me just put $100 in. No, not gonna do that. I will change it to 9.6. I'll risk losing $1,200. 9.6. 9.6 puts us. Yeah. Yeah. I'm good with that. I mean, it could come down, but we'll see. Array, Rocket Pool, Perp, Sidecoin, Alien One, Dodo, Dot. My boy. So now that Dot's gone to $7.63, and it's on its way to 8, to then 9, to then potentially 10, 10 and a half before all this plays out, I can very reasonably up the leverage. Oh, jeez. I could up it way. And I can remove 501, 559. I'm good with that. Now, I mean, I could close this right now, right? And I could make $10,000. And what I'm risking is potentially losing all 10,000 of those dollars plus the 700 that I put in, right? So the opportunity cost of the profits that I'm at right now, I'm 1,439% up. Old Ty would have closed the shit out of this position and pocketed that change. But right now, if I believe that this is a bullish weekend, bullish Monday, bullish Tuesday, I think Dot's got some gas in the tank more. And it's not like I'm guessing. I've seen Cardano do it. I've seen Algo do it. I've seen XLM do it. And I've seen XRP do it. And these are part of the OGs from last time. Dot's got some more in it. And I do believe that the potential price that Dot gets to is around like 1027. And if it impulses up to that, even if I'm sleeping, it's going to close the position and I will have made $23,000 off of that. And so if it goes down before it goes up and that 10,000 goes down to 5 or what, like 5,000, like the price would have to go down more than 20% from here and below my entry point. And let's see where we at. Dot, 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 dot. Let's click on that. Like, unless we crash, right? Which we're not, but unless we crash, it's not going to go down to that price again. It could go like close. It could go down to 6 something and bounce or something like that. But there would have to be an act of God to make it go down to, was it like 540? Yeah. Yeah. So like, I'm chilling. And I'm saying 1028-ish is perfectly on the table within the next 3 days. 3 to 4 days. I'm cool with that. All right. Again, Casper. Yes. Okay. So the isolated liquidation price is 13. So 10% down from here. 5, 15, 15.2, 15% down. It would have to go pretty far down. Okay. And I mean, I could just put a stop. No. No. Okay. Anything can happen. Let's see, 1% stop loss. What's the price? Liquidation entry price 0.0144. So 0.0145. Cool. Chances of it going down to that, not very high. I'm checking my other charts. Actually, the chance of it going down, I think 149, 145, 146. It could go down to 146, but not likely. I'm willing to chance that 145. We could do 1425. I'll take an L on that if that's the case. $311 lost for the chance to make a ridiculous amount more. And I think actually it is very likely that it could go to 0.03215, which would be a $30,000 profit with only having to risk $311. I'm cool with that. Very cool with that. Next, live beer. Yes. This is the first wave of like oddball ones that haven't popped off yet that I purchased earlier. And this one is great. 10%. 10. 30. Right above mine. Cool. Let's take some money out. Risk $1,000 to potentially make it to 19. You go to 20. Yeah, I mean, look at this. That was at 7. We'll add to that. Oh yeah, that's so cool. Say 24. Just to be on the aggressive side. Obviously, I'll be watching this. Or no, what was the 24? Yeah. Save. Risk 1,000, potentially make 30,000. That is the point. And the chances of these things hitting that kind of thing, possible. But I'm not going to wait around for that on Tuesday morning. Monday night, Tuesday morning. Whatever profit it's at. If it's at $2,000, if it's at $20,000, I'm going to close it at that point in time. So I don't have to deal with the market crashing and then all of these stop losses being hit and then me making no money and maybe losing a little bit or making a little bit. I'm going to take those profits. This is a calculated risk. 1134, 10, 6950. Cool. I already said dot. Dot's so great. Casper. Still waiting for that to play out, but I do like where it's going. All right, so Chia Coin up 82%. And if it were to go down to that, 14.89. I mean, this is potentially going to like $44 right now. Has a high potential of doing that right now. Let's see, Bitcoin's still chilling at this. ETH is that. VRA is ripping. It's just a matter of time. Yep. Let me look. Where are we at? 27. Okay. Chia 813. I'm gonna say my stop loss would be at like 14.14. So I'd risk $1,000. Okay. So let's up the leverage on the isolated margin. Cool. And let's take that money out. 1410. You know what? Actually, I will take the rest out. 1423. Perfectly reasonable to me. Perfectly reasonable to me. Yep. Risk $1,500 and potentially make 23.27, 35,000. Yep. I'm down with that. Velo. Yeah. And this is something I've been preaching to anybody that listen. And the perfect example of this is Solana and then Bonk and all these other coins and projects that are built on the Solana network. When Solana blew up, Bonk blew up. Solana goes up 200%, Bonk goes up 20,000%. It's these small small cap coins that are built on projects that have the highest profit potential. Velo is built on the Stellar Lumens blockchain. Stellar Lumen just did like a 350% up move over the last month. Velo has been consolidating and ranging, coming to a point, and I was speculatively thinking, yeah, I think this is the perfect place to buy it because Stellar is blowing up right now and Velo hasn't moved yet. But the money is flowing from the large caps down to the mids, down to the smalls, and Velo, go figure, is starting to blow up right now as Stellar and XRP are cooling down and accumulating and ranging at this very moment. So I will increase the leverage so that I can then take out funds from the margin. It looks like I'm high up enough to where it will let me do it. Yeah, I'm 390% up on my investment. That's great. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, the chances of Velo actually going down to 14.1 again under these conditions, not very likely at all. This is in the breakout structure, and when it's breaking out and it's gone past a certain point, it doesn't go back down below that point because it's breaking out. It's going to do this thing that it's doing right here, and I'm going to be aggressive on this one because Velo, underrated, underdog, slept on. People overlook the fact that BlackRock is partnered with them and they are everywhere and they are fully integrated with everything in the Hyperledger fabric. And it's just like, if XRP is the business to business, XLM is the person to person, the peer to peer. And these are the things that are going to make the world go round. And they have integrated with everything. And Velo is the perfect project on it. That one is going to go outrageous. I'll be sad to sell that position, but I'll be happy to pocket whatever that profit might be. And right now, that profit, with it barely doing anything, is $5,686. Yeah. 5. So 17165. Yeah. I'm going to put this stop loss at 0.0145 or 147.8. Yeah. So, I mean, it could, out of nowhere, correct down, whatever. And if it should happen to make it to where I bought in at, around there, 14.8, 9. do 14.7. There's been so many times where I did like the logical 7.5, 7.1. You know what? I would actually risk $250 to give this a chance. Yeah. Yep. I'll do that one. Purpose it. Is this it? I'm good. Dodo. Odian. Dot. That's ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. Wow. Facebook 10X. Oh, this might. No, that's the one I already did. Cool. H 1423. Cool. Yeah. Okay. This one. 27. 550. Yeah, 10%. Okay. That's tight. I'm only risking $1,600 for the possibility of actually. I looked at this one and I was salivating over it. 8.87. Yeah, it's possible. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in a matter of minutes. It's possible. That's so great. $75,000. Yeah, could totally happen. That's ridiculous. Oh man, I love it. This one's up. That's so great. All right, so 344. If it went down 10%, 3.1, it'd be right around where I bought in at. So I could put the leverage. Do I have any? No, I don't have any in there. That's cool. I could put the ending point. Boop, boop, boop. Perfect. Wow. And I would want it to be a liquidation price somewhere around 30 to 31. So let's see how much we can remove. That's beautiful. And I'll put 20, actually 20, I don't know, 20. Cool. And again, the market would have to tank for that to play out. And I'd lose the opportunity cost of the, 4,500 in profit I'm sitting in. And then also if it went down to that, I'd lose my 2,500 that I have in the margin there. And then I think 0.047 was a very likely level. But if it were to shoot up, I think the price I found it at was like 917 or something like that. Yeah, 917. And I'm going to do high targets because I'll be monitoring this. And if I see this thing hovering around Monday, Tuesday at that other 0.47 cents or whatever, which was a $22,000 profit, I'm going to be closing the position. But if I pass out and sleep for like 2 days and I wake up and I pull up my phone and then I'm sitting on an extra $85,000 because this thing went bonkers out of nowhere, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'd be happy that I set a high target. And I'm okay with going to sleep under these conditions because, like, the market would have to tank right now, tank right as altcoin was starting, with Bitcoin chilling around 100K for that to actually play out. Not worried about it. And I put this one cross. Okay. I need to put more coverage on that. I need to lower any amount of leverage that I have in cross margin. Same thing for you. How much do I have up here? 22,000 left over. Tight. So XCH. I put that on 3. I put that on 3. And it's not like this would be the only money. Like the point of the cross margin is use any asset in your futures account here, any position that you flag as cross, use each other as collateral. So if one gets close to a potential liquidation point for as much margin I put in there, use the rest of what my holdings are for collateral. And ideally, you don't have all the same kind of thing. You don't have all meme coins. You don't have all large caps. You don't have all whatever. You spread it out to where maybe I buy a bunch of large caps and I offset that with a bunch of micro caps. And typically, if the market tanks and the large caps are dying, including Bitcoin, the one thing that pumps is micro caps, because people take that money and they want to hedge their bets against the market and get something going while everything else is dying. So you go buy those micro caps, or you open up a short position on something to hedge your bets there. Like, there's so many options there. Casper. I am going to put a stop loss on this because I don't want to risk any of that amount of money. 14.1. Let's see. And honestly, that's just too much Casper in general to be holding. If I were to go and put 414, 135, 37, 38. Check my chart. For it to invalidate what I was thinking, it would have to go 14.2. The chances of going down to 14.2 very low. 13.9. 13.8. Yeah. I'll risk $500 for the chance to make a ridiculous amount of money. So I need to figure out what amount of leverage would have a liquidation point of that. Let me close this out. 13.8. Okay. 0.0138. $500. Oh man, I hate being sick. 13.8. And I'm gonna put a little line on my Casper chart. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, I'm cool with that. 13.8. You know. Okay, cool. which leaves cross VRA. Wow, that's so much money in there. $13.8. How much do I have left over? I do like VRA. Oh my gosh. That's so ridiculous. That's so ridiculous. But I love it. That's great. Yeah. So that VRA position is safe. And I do know that VRA is pretty safe. Pretty safe. But I will park and allocate that much margin in it, which it would have to go down to 0.0015. Yeah, almost like a 60 to 70% drop from where we are right now. And there's legitimately no reason to do that to VRA right now. There's every reason for VRA to go on a run. And honestly, I don't even have to risk all of that. Because even 20% down, I'd still be higher. 0.0032. 13015. Yeah, so I mean, really, the only thing I'm risking is the potential profit I'm sitting in right there. So every single position, except for this bad boy. Can I put more? I don't have enough. Yep. 160, 14.11. Yeah. Honestly, I don't even think. Yeah, let's go see. CH. So in my isolated margin version of it, it's at 1423. And I'll put this at 1419. So I'm risking $1,300 there. Like, XCH Chia coin honestly hasn't really taken off yet. All of the storage coins haven't really taken off yet. File, storage, data, Sia coin, Chia. They're in that sector in and of themselves. And yeah, like, are we like, when these things come back around and the money flows over this weekend period into next week, I would expect Chia coin to go up to like $20 to $24. Legitimately. That's cool. I'm totally cool with that. And if it did, what if I just did this? What is $22.89? Now $16,000 profit. It depends. Versus if it went to, so I do like 34.19. Yeah. 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 I'm cool with that. And I'll let this chill. So every single position is safe now. Stop loss. tight. And let's just look through them. XTH, Radiant, X, Act. There's 6. Act. And that liquidation's at 37. But honestly, it's on the way up. Could easily come back down again to 41,864. Chances are it would be a double bottom. I don't think it would like dip further because the market's bullish. So if my stop loss is right here at 41.9, that's so great. I bought it here, 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 and there. And I knew that that was a possibility. But if this were to fall down and correct, I think the lowest that it would go would be 43, right? But because I know that people, the institutional money, they go after people's logical stop loss prices and whatnot. They orchestrate a series of events that would get that price dipping just below to hit your stop loss, to force you to market close, sell your long position so that they could then buy it right as it dips further than that. And so I am going to anticipate and go 41.9. So I can do enough leverage to get to 41.9. And then I don't have to risk as much. Jeez. How high am I allowed to go? Jeez. I'll stop there. 41.9, 41.9. Remove. Boom. I'm only risking $1,000. That is great. And I'll put a little bit back in. 100. 50. 250. I'm good with that. $1,300. If it hits and I lose it, cool, whatever. But I don't even know what the upside is for this, honestly. Like, there's not enough data. Like, I just saw that this was dead. And I'm like, okay, curious to see where this goes. And if it, goes up into more potential profit, then I'll just move my stop loss price up into a place to where if it did hit that, it would be in profit. I just need to have an idea that it would be fine enough to do. 5, 4, 6. Yeah, tight. Tight. This is so cool. It's like the starting point. I don't know where it was in here. Let's see. Yeah, no, that's great. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to close this out. And then I'm going to get some sleep and see where this goes. It's outrageous. What is VRA doing right now? I'm just going to look it up. But the line, this doesn't show up on the mobile very well. Damn. Cool. There's a possibility it goes to 1 cent before Tuesday. And so, like, I'm real curious to see how that might turn out. And if it goes to 1 cent, what would the profit on that be? 0.01. Oh, jeez, wrong position. I was like, that doesn't math. 0.01. Yeah. Yeah. $100,000. Now that's actually legitimately got the highest chance of happening out of any of these things right now before Monday. 0.123. 103. 7. Yeah. Continue. That's ridiculous. Oh, man. That's a lovely thought. So we'll see. Yeah, because I mean, honestly, if you look at it, that's how much actual money do I have in VRA right now with the profits? That's the question. My entire position of VRA is now worth $74,400 because I'm $18,920 up. That's outrageous to say I am holding $74,000 worth of VRA at basically the bottomed out prices. And that if it just did a similar move to what Stellar Lumens just did in the last couple of days, I would make $130,000 on just that alone, and I'd still have 2.5 million VRA left over. That is outrageous. Yeah, I like where this is going. This was the perfect play. And the intent of all of this is clear enough profits doing high risk, high reward in this moment where there are conditions that are much safer for doing that kind of thing, right? Clear enough profits to take my original investment out of the market and put it in my bank. Done. Also take out enough, if I clear these profits, 32% of whatever it is that I actually have marked down as profits, which I think I've, actually we can take a look right now. Features this. So I've closed positions enough to where I have on long positions, I've closed them and I've made $34,000 with longs. On short positions, I've closed them and I've made $5,900 on long. So basically, I've closed enough positions and realized $40,000 worth of profits just in this platform alone, right? And that doesn't count the XRP that I sold on Coinbase for it was like $5,000 worth of profits there for XRP when I sold it on Coinbase. Transferred that over as USDC to then Blowfin, converted that to USDT, put that in my futures account, and then monitored XRP, and then made my XRP play, and then made another $8,000 on XRP, and then I had all of that in my futures account to then buy all this bullshit that was at the bottoms and the lows that hadn't kicked off yet. A beautiful series of events. So, yeah, that's fantastic. So, like $40,000-$50,000 of actually realized gains, profits. That's cool. But I would take my original investment out. I would take 32% of whatever it is that I, closed positions, blah, 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 on, and I'd take that out and put it in my bank as well, but then put that off to the side and say that's for taxes. I'd get a little bit of a cut for Taylor, because she doesn't think crypto's real, and like the only way I can make her understand that crypto is real and it's not just fake money and colors on the screen is to like send her like $500 or $1,000 every time I make a crazy trade and take money out of the market. Then it's a little bit more practical in her head. And then that leaves me with whatever I have left over as profits that I've made on the exchange, staged and ready to actually invest in other stuff, right? Hold price, whatever. And so at that point, I'd be waiting for that to play out where things do a flash crash. I'll make a little play there with my staged, buy trigger limit buy orders, and then I'd immediately sell as soon as they pumped up, back, 30% back upwards or whatever, and then I'd be looking from this point through December for just good opportunities to buy at decent dip prices at the new support that we have. And that's it. Casper, Chia, Miria. I don't have a stop loss on Miria. And arguably, I don't want to risk trigger 00196 or 195 194 193 191 192. Yeah, I'll risk $500. Yeah. And in fact, that means I could set it to a slightly higher leverage as long as I had my stop loss on there. Like, there we go. So I've got Casper covered. I've got Chia covered. And a take profit price if it does hit that. I've got Miria covered. VIDT with a liquidation point more than 10% below. Tight. And a take profit price. And how much am I risking? Actually, I don't put on there. I'm only risking $2,500 for the potential to make 84. That's crazy. UMA, I've got that covered. I've got the take profit. I've got the liquidation point below my entry point and 2050 below 10% of a drop. I'm risking $1,500 to potentially make $75,000. Velo, I've got the stop loss configured at 14,599, which is below 10% from where we're at now. Damn, I was right. I fucking knew Velo was gonna do this shit. And this is just the beginning. It's literally just the beginning. That's so cool. And where do I think Velo could possibly go? 24 or 2.4 versus 3.1. There's a good natural resistance point. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. 2.9. That is the fib. That is the fib at, Okay. What does that look like? 0.029. 158. Eventually, yeah, I gotta remind myself I'm here just to make money. If I want to buy velo, I will buy velo later. It could go to that and then do this. I'm on my computer. I just gotta do a look at a chart real quick. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put something insane because this shit is insane. 0.4. 0.49. 0.49. Yeah, 49.5. Yep. That's $68,000. Honestly, geez. If you really think about it, it could do this, which would be whatever is 500% up. My God. And 500% would be at 0.66. Yeah, that's totally possible. Yeah. Where are we at, Vila? Yep. $100,000 chance. So cool. Cool. Chia. I've got my target price 43. That's also a possible chance for sure. Liquidation price is 60, 50, below 10% from where it's at now. Not likely to actually do the liquidation. I'm risking $1,500 to potentially gain $35,000. Cool. Live peer is below 10% of a drop. Liquidation point. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna look this up. Live peer is one of those crazy ones that could literally shoot. Yep, I'm lowballing it. It could shoot. It could go 7. This live peer could go to 24. 24.53. 31. 6.4. Okay. Oh man. 31.64. $42,000. That's much more like it. Risking $1,000 to potentially get $43,000. Tight. Casper. I've got the leverage set. I've got a stop loss at a potential loss. I've got a realistic take profit price right underneath where I think logically a lot of people would sell. So I'm risking I'm risking $300. I can risk more. Yeah, I'm willing to risk $715 for the chance to make $30,000. Dot. So tight. I'm risking $700. And you know what? Doc could go crazy, just like Algo. 10, 11, 13, 14, 13, 12. I'll do 11.35. No, 11.35. Hmm. Yeah, let's see when it did this. 10:42. That and it, jeez, did the same shit. Yeah, I'll do 10:14. 8. Because it would go from 10:50 ish down to 7:33 easily. And I would be there to buy that dip. Okay. Cool. Boy, oh boy. Honestly, a lot of this money is safe. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. 51, this TikTok coverage, okay. Jeez. So ridiculous. Oh boy. Mm-mm. I'm just doing the math. 13.8, 25, 14.15. Cool. Cool with it. 16.50. Yeah. Damn. That's so tight. That's so tight. Wow. Wow. Okay. I'm good. I'll close this out.